Stellantis just discontinued the Ram 1500. The automotive giant is on the brink of collapse, and they might have just put the final nail in the coffin with this recent move. You know what consumers hate most? When auto manufacturers try to tell them what kind of cars to buy, instead of providing cars that the consumers really want to buy, as their sales data would clearly indicate. Stellantis seems to have forgotten this fundamental principle with their recent decision to discontinue the iconic Ram 1500 truck. The Ram 1500 has been a perennial favorite, a symbol of American ingenuity and ruggedness. So why exactly has Stellantis chosen to do this? What does this mean for the company and for consumers? Join us as we discuss this and more. Before we get into Stellantis' decision to discontinue the Ram 1500, let's briefly discuss how they got here. When the Ram 1500 Classic first rolled off the assembly line, George W. Bush was still sitting in the Oval Office, Friends reruns were still dominating cable TV, and flip phones were the height of tech. This trusty pickup made its debut in 2008 and managed to stick around for a jaw-dropping 16 years, and its sale life stretched across 3 decades, before Ram finally announced its retirement in August of this year. By then, the next-gen hurricane-powered 2025 Ram 1500 had already taken its place, but the Classic didn't just survive, it thrived, earning its reputation as the truck that wouldn't die. 16 years is an eternity in the auto world, especially for a single model. Most vehicles barely make it a decade before being replaced by shiny, tech-packed successors. Yet, the Ram 1500 Classic held its ground like a seasoned veteran who's seen it all. Back in 2019, when Ram launched the all-new 1500, they made a surprising decision: keep building the Classic alongside its younger sibling. And not just for a transition year or two, this overlap lasted the entire production run of the next-gen truck. Both trucks were built less than 10 miles apart. While the shiny new Ram 1500s rolled off the assembly line in Sterling Heights, Michigan, the older Classic models kept chugging along in Warren, Michigan. The Ram 1500 Classic wasn't just old, it was really old. Sure, it got a mid-2010s facelift to keep things fresh, but underneath it was still rocking a pre-Obama era design. Imagine if Chevy decided to keep selling brand new C7 Corvettes today, complete with a full warranty. Weird, right? But that's exactly what Ram did, and buyers loved it. Why? Because the Classic filled a unique niche. When Ram introduced the next-gen 1500 for the 2019 model year, it was a game changer. The new truck didn't just improve on the old one, it redefined what a pickup could be. Suddenly, trucks weren't just about hauling and towing, they were about luxury. Ram's interiors became the gold standard, with premium materials, cutting-edge tech, and ride quality that rivaled luxury sedans. It was a move that forced other manufacturers to step up their game. But all that luxury came at a price, literally. The new Ram 1500 was a masterpiece, but it wasn't cheap. For buyers who needed a workhorse rather than a rolling luxury suite, the Ram 1500 Classic was the perfect solution. It was rugged, reliable, and most importantly, affordable. Ram even simplified things by dropping the base tradesman trim from the new model lineup, ensuring that the Classic remained the go-to option for budget-conscious truck buyers. The Ram 1500 Classic finally reached the end of its journey in 2024. It outlasted multiple presidents, weathered countless trends, and stood tall as a symbol of no-nonsense durability. When Carl Lally, the man behind the original DS generation Ram 1500, later known as the Classic, first brought this truck to life, he envisioned something versatile, dependable, and tailored to the everyday buyer. Speaking about the truck's extended run, Lally explained, "When we launched the new Ram 1500, the DT generation as we call it, back in 2018 for the 2019 model year, it made all the sense in the world to keep that DS generation of the truck around. Felt that it really made a lot of sense to let us continue to go after the value-oriented buyer. At that lower end, the vocational-oriented buyer, looking for a tradesman type of work truck." And boy, did that decision pay off. The Classic didn't just stick around, it thrived, carving out a unique place in the market for over a decade and a half. Its extended run tells a fascinating story about Ram's strategy, adaptability, and the evolving needs of truck buyers. Ram never revealed exact sales figures for the Classic versus its newer siblings, but the writing was on the wall. The Classic was a hit. Dealers couldn't get enough of it. Why? It offered something unique, a reliable, budget-friendly option for new truck buyers. Fleet managers saw it as a win too. With its proven platform and no-frills durability, the Classic became a go-to choice for businesses needing reliable workhorses. For those craving a two-door regular cab configuration, the Classic was the only game in town. Its simplicity, affordability, and practicality made it irresistible to anyone looking for no-nonsense utility. One of the reasons the Classic lasted so long was its cost-effectiveness for Ram. Keeping the older DS platform around was a low investment move, allowing the company to keep prices down while still pulling in profits. But Ram didn't let the Classic stagnate either. The company kept the truck relevant with thoughtful updates. In 2021, the off-road Warlock trim was introduced, giving the Classic a rugged edge. That same year, Ram added the 8.4-inch Uconnect 4 infotainment system, making the truck tech-savvy enough to compete in a rapidly evolving market. A year later, Uconnect 5 brought wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, ensuring even budget-conscious buyers could enjoy modern connectivity. One of the trickiest aspects of selling the Classic alongside the newer DT generation Ram 1500 was customer education. Imagine walking into a dealership and being presented with two trucks, both called the Ram 1500 from the same model year but with significant differences. It was a potential recipe for confusion. Ram had to carefully explain to both dealers and customers that the Classic and the newer 1500 were different beasts. Fortunately, truck enthusiasts and value-conscious buyers figured it out quickly, and the dual pickup strategy worked wonders. From 2019 through 2022, Ram enjoyed some epic sales years, even beating the Chevrolet Silverado during that stretch. Today, the 1500 Classic is being laid to rest, and that means that Ram will no longer offer a half-ton truck with a V8 engine. A company spokesperson today confirmed the news, stating that the Ram 1500 Classic's departure comes as the result of the introduction of the tradesman trim on the newer Ram 1500 for the 2024 model year. For 2025, the tradesman remains the 1500's entry-level trim, and it comes with a $42,270 base price. The decision also comes less than a month after the owner of the Chrysler and Jeep brands said it would take decisive actions to address operational challenges after it reported a 48% year-over-year slump in first-half net profit. The 2024 Ram 1500 Classic was available in two trims, the Tradesman and the Warlock. The Tradesman, aimed at those seeking a practical work truck, started at $40,700. This marked a $6,160 increase over the Classic's 2023 starting price, and positioned it only $715 below the 2024 version of the newer generation Ram 1500. In previous years, the Classic offered more substantial savings compared to the modern 1500s. Under the hood, the 1500 Classic offered two engine options, the 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 and the 5.7-liter Hemi V8. However, with the introduction of the 2025 Ram 1500, which comes standard with the Hurricane twin-turbocharged 3.0-liter inline-six engine, the Hemi V8 is no longer available in the current model year 1500 pickup. The Hemi V8 continues to be offered in the 2025 Dodge Durango and Ram's heavy-duty trucks, which feature the 6.4-liter V8. For those interested in the Classic experience, Ram still has some Hemi-powered 1500 Classics available on dealership lots, with sales continuing into 2025. A company spokesperson confirmed that the Ram 1500 Classic's departure is due to the introduction of the tradesman trim on the newer Ram 1500 for the 2024 model year. The 2025 tradesman remains the entry-level trim for the 1500, starting at $42,270. This decision comes amid broader changes within Stellantis, Ram's parent company, which reported a 48% year-over-year decline in first-half net profit and announced plans to address operational challenges. As the Ram 1500 Classic takes its final bow, it leaves behind a legacy of reliability and affordability, having served as a steadfast option for budget-conscious buyers and fleet operators alike. Now the decision to stop making this truck has been accompanied by some serious fallout, and this is because cutting production would automatically mean job cuts. We're talking about 2,450 factory workers losing their jobs. Stellantis hasn't said a peep about what's coming next. No replacement vehicle, no big plan. That's a major red flag for the United Auto Workers UAW union. If you're not familiar, the UAW recently scored big with labor deals after a hard-fought multi-week strike against Detroit's Big Three automakers. So you can imagine how they're feeling about this sudden move. Spoiler alert, they're not happy. Let's talk about Shawn Fain, the UAW president. This guy's got fire in his belly and he's not pulling any punches. He straight up called Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares' handling of the situation a total disgrace. Fain didn't stop there though. He made it crystal clear that if any regular worker showed the same level of incompetence as Tavares, they'd be out the door faster than you can say layoff. Fain isn't just mad, he's ready for a showdown. So, why is this happening? Well, earlier this year, Stellantis hinted at the layoffs, 2,450 workers at the Warren Truck Assembly Plant, to be exact. Fast forward to July 2024, and things got even worse. Stellantis announced temporary layoffs affecting over 4,000 workers at the same plant. Can you imagine the panic? On top of that, 1,600 workers were hit with immediate job losses as the company eliminated the second shift entirely. But why all these cuts? Well, this year, vehicle sales plummeted by a jaw-dropping 21% compared to the previous year. And if you think the Warren plant has it bad, just a few miles away at the Toledo Assembly Complex, things aren't much better. This is where the Jeep Gladiator is made, and workers there are also staring down the barrel of layoffs. Half of the 5,000 employees are constantly on edge, waiting for the next announcement about temporary production halts. In March 2024, Stellantis made more shocking cuts. 400 engineering and tech workers were axed, alongside temporary part-time staff at various locations. This isn't just a story about numbers, it's a human story, and the ripple effects go far beyond the individuals who received those pink slips. It's easy to see headlines about job losses and think, that's unfortunate for those workers, but the reality runs much deeper. Those layoffs don't just affect individuals, they impact entire communities. When factory workers lose their jobs, their spending power disappears. That means fewer trips to the local diner, fewer purchases at family-owned shops, and a sharp drop in business for small retailers. This multiplier effect doesn't just dent the wallets of laid-off workers, it puts entire local economies at risk. Now imagine a beloved neighborhood cafe that once bustled with loyal customers suddenly sees empty tables. The owner cuts hours or even lays off staff to survive. It's a vicious cycle. As these businesses struggle, more jobs vanish, creating a domino effect that threatens to overwhelm entire towns. And it's not just businesses that suffer. As unemployment rises, community resources like food banks and social services get slammed with demand. Families who once lived comfortably are now relying on overstretched support systems. The safety nets that people depend on begin to fray, threatening to collapse under the strain. Does Stellantis care about this? Honestly, it doesn't look like it. For them, it's about cutting costs, no matter the fallout. And with unions like the United Auto Workers pushing back, you can't really blame them for being furious. The fallout has sparked outrage from the UAW, but the situation isn't straightforward. Following the resignation of Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares, the UAW's once fiery Keep the Promise campaign seems to be fizzling out. Union leaders have ruled out further strike votes or action, at least until sometime in 2025, if ever. According to UAW President Shawn Fain, all local grievances tied to the campaign have been withdrawn, and the union is now in a holding pattern. While this decision may give the company some breathing room, it has left many workers feeling abandoned. The UAW had filed a series of grievances related to the move by Stellantis to delay the reopening of the shuttered Belvidere assembly plant, claiming the company had violated the 2023 contract and conducted strike votes at 4 locals. UAW President Shawn Fain also made a bold move, signaling that he's open to working with the incoming administration of Donald Trump on trade policies. Fain told the Detroit News, "If this administration is willing to tackle bad trade deals and support the right to form unions, then we're game." Trump, never one to miss an opportunity, made his own overtures by picking Republican Congresswoman Lori Chavez DeRemer as his choice for labor secretary. Chavez DeRemer has an interesting resume, right-wing politics mixed with a pro-union streak. She's backed the PRO Act, a piece of legislation aimed at strengthening union rights, which has raised eyebrows on both sides of the aisle. Fain's strategy isn't just about keeping plants open, it's about holding powerful people accountable. He's credited the UAW's Keep the Promise campaign with ousting Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares, accusing him of mismanagement. According to Fain, Tavares wasn't cutting it when it came to running the show. You see, Tavares didn't lose his job because he was too harsh on workers. Nope, he got the boot because Wall Street and European investors thought he wasn't slashing costs fast enough. It's like being fired for not tearing things apart quickly enough. tough. Kind of ironic, right? While Fain and the UAW claim victories like Tavares' resignation, the truth might be a bit darker. Critics argue that the union leadership isn't really challenging the system of class exploitation. It's more about making the system work better. That means more efficient cost cutting, which usually translates to fewer jobs and tougher conditions for workers. With Tavares out of the picture, Stellantis is likely gearing up to double down on cost-cutting efforts. And guess who's gonna feel the brunt of that? Workers in the US and Europe. Even as the union leadership claims wins, the fight is far from over. In fact, some say it's just beginning. Now, the UAW's Keep the Promise campaign might be winding down, but it seems there's more to the story. One major factor? Stellantis has agreed to let the UAW into its new Kokomo battery plant in Indiana, a joint venture with South Korea's Samsung. This move creates about 1,000 jobs and allows workers at the plant to officially join the UAW. These workers will technically be leased to Stellantis, a workaround that gives them union membership without directly being Stellantis employees. UAW President Shawn Fain fought hard to secure the union's foothold in the battery plant, especially after layoffs rocked Stellantis' transmission operations in Kokomo. The layoffs not only cost workers their jobs, but also hit the union where it hurts: dues income. To offset this, the UAW has encouraged laid-off workers to apply for positions at the new battery plant. For many workers, the resignation of Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares was no cause for tears. A veteran worker at the Stellantis Warren Truck Assembly plant near Detroit summed it up. "Most people are not sorry to see Tavares go. They did a stock buyback and then raised his salary." This sentiment isn't isolated. Workers are still fuming over the UAW's lack of action to defend jobs amidst massive cuts. At Warren Truck, for example, over 1,300 jobs have already been slashed out of the 2,400 planned cuts. While some hope Tavares' replacement might bring better leadership, others see the problem as much deeper. As the same veteran worker put it, "The problem is capitalism. We need to get rid of all CEOs. Any man who has $1 billion represents a policy failure." The big question for Ram isn't just whether they can bounce back, it's how fast they can adapt and innovate to stay relevant in today's fiercely competitive truck market. Time is ticking, and with every passing quarter, the pressure builds. So, what's their game plan to win back the loyalty of truck enthusiasts? Surprisingly, instead of bringing back one of their legendary high-performance models, Ram is making a daring pivot. Ram's answer to the competition isn't a full-scale revival of an old favorite. It's a limited edition truck release. This isn't just a nostalgia play. It's a clear signal of Stellantis' shifting strategy. Enter the Final Edition, a high-end, ultra-exclusive truck aimed not just at drivers, but at collectors and enthusiasts. The move reflects a shift from chasing mass market appeal to targeting a more niche, premium audience. But why? Perhaps because Ram needs to differentiate itself in a market where competitors like Chevy are leaving them in the dust. Chevy's sales have surged ahead by nearly 100,000 units, highlighting Ram's struggles to keep up. The Final Edition isn't just another truck, it's a collectible. Stellantis is making only 4,000 units available worldwide. Of these, 340 are set aside for the Middle East, while just 130 will reach Australia. Each truck comes with a jaw-dropping price tag of $249,950, plus additional on-road costs. This pricing strategy positions the Final Edition as an aspirational vehicle, catering to a specific audience that values exclusivity and luxury. Ram has pulled out all the stops in crafting the Final Edition. The truck boasts stunning satin titanium beadlock wheels and distinctive TRX badging that blend ruggedness with sophistication. Every detail is designed to elevate this truck beyond mere utility, making it as much a status symbol as a workhorse. This limited edition launch is about more than selling a truck. It's about redefining Ram's place in the market. Stellantis is banking on the enduring strength of the Ram brand to carry this strategy. While the hefty price tag and exclusivity might alienate some traditional Ram fans, it could also pave the way for a bold reinvention. The buzz around Ram isn't just limited to the high-priced Final Edition trucks. There's growing excitement over the potential revival of the mid-sized Ram Dakota and the recent debut of the Rampage in Brazil. With these moves, Ram seems poised to re-enter the mid-sized truck market, a space it has been absent from for years. This could signal a transformative leap for the brand, potentially attracting a wider and more diverse diverse customer base. But here's the big question: will this strategy actually work? A quick look at the price tags on new Ram trucks gives us a hint at the challenges ahead. The starting price for models like the 2025 Ram 1500 hovers around $70,000, with premium versions climbing well beyond $80,000. Let's be honest, these numbers put Ram dangerously close to the territory of luxury sports cars, not the rugged, reliable workhorses the brand was once known for. This pricing shift alienates a core segment of Ram's traditional buyers, the working-class truck enthusiasts. These are people who need dependable vehicles for their jobs and daily lives, not flashy high-end rides that come with hefty price tags. And with everyday expenses like rent, groceries, and fuel soaring, spending $70,000 to $80,000 on a truck feels out of reach for many. Dealerships are already feeling the pinch. Their lots are overflowing with unsold 2023 and 2024 models, hundreds, if not thousands, just sitting there waiting for buyers who aren't showing up. And let's not forget about depreciation, a major pain point for potential buyers. Trucks like these can lose 15 to 20% of their value the moment they're driven off the lot. For many, that's a deal breaker. Why invest so much money in a vehicle that's going to lose such a large chunk of its value immediately? This is where the revival of the Dakota and the introduction of the Rampage could change the game. By re-entering the midsize truck market, Ram could offer more affordable, versatile options for buyers who've been priced out of the full-size market. These midsize trucks might not have all the bells and whistles of the high-end models, but they could hit the sweet spot between capability and affordability, something many customers are desperately looking for. Let's talk reliability. The Ram 1500 is a truck that often steals the spotlight with its impressive performance, advanced features, and rugged good looks. But when you dig a little deeper, you'll find some troubling reliability issues that just won't seem to go away. One of the most notorious problems plaguing Ram 1500 owners is the dreaded Hemi lifter tick. If you've ever heard a persistent ticking noise coming from your engine, chances are it's not just an annoying sound, it could be a sign of faulty lifters. Left unchecked, this issue can escalate into something much worse, like worn camshafts. And once you're dealing with camshaft damage, you're looking at serious engine trouble. Well, the timing of this issue isn't great either. It tends to rear its head around the 70,000 mile mark, just when many owners are starting to pay closer attention to their truck's overall performance. Fixing the lifter tick can be a wallet-busting ordeal, often costing several $1,000s. Some owners have tried using higher quality oil to stave off the problem, but that's more of a temporary band-aid than a permanent solution. The hits keep coming. Another common problem involves broken or warped manifold bolts. This issue can lead to exhaust leaks, which directly affect performance and fuel efficiency. Fixing this isn't just about replacing a bolt, it's a labor-intensive job that requires careful extraction of the damaged parts. Translation: more time, more money. Then there are the recalls. In 2024 alone, Ram faced a string of recalls for issues affecting models like the Ram 1500, 2500, and 3500. One major problem involved poor welding in the transmission control unit. This flaw could lead to transmission fluid leaking onto electrical components, resulting in a loss of driving power or even preventing the truck from shifting into park. For a brand that prides itself on reliability and strength, these recalls are a glaring red flag. So how is Ram dealing with these challenges? The answer: discounts. Dealers are slashing prices, offering markdowns ranging from 12 to 20% off the suggested retail price. These discounts might help move inventory in the short term, but they also come with a downside. Offering deep discounts may signal to consumers that Ram's pricing strategy is flawed. It creates an expectation that buyers should always wait for a deal, which could undermine the brand's premium image. Instead of being seen as a dependable, high-value truck, Ram risks becoming associated with bargain bin pricing, a dangerous perception for any automaker trying to maintain a reputation for quality. While deep discounts might lure buyers back to the showroom, they don't address the root causes of the problems. To truly win back consumer trust, Ram needs to focus on improving the quality and durability of its trucks, not just making them look good on paper. At the end of the day, a great truck isn't just about horsepower or high-tech features. It's about delivering on the promise of reliability. And until Ram can prove that it's serious about solving these persistent issues, it's going to be an uphill battle to reclaim its place at the top of the truck market. So, what do you think about Ram's decision to retire the classic 1500 truck? Let us know in the comments section. Also, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and activate the notification bell to stay updated with all our latest videos. While you're still here, click the video on your screen to see more interesting content like this one.